Colin with JDK. We're looking at the double augmented twin fist block, otherwise known as a Dupamagi or Amorete Uchi Uke. And in a previous video, we were talking about the effects of that reverse hand being up or down. In our system, we were talking about how if it was down, it was used to trap the front lead hand. For instance, as I cross hands, I press and I trap downwards, I can come over the top and strike my opponent. And we were looking at the opposite, which is the pull back. And when we look at the pullback or the reverse hand and this chambering, this turn and chamber, if I were to grab onto any part of the opponent and I pull directly towards my body, the opponent is prompted to pull back very quickly. So very easily, so if I pull, the opponent sets himself and it will come across from the top, and then basically I will get a counter very quickly. What I feel is that if I were to drag, it indicates to the opponent that I am trying to set my body weight, and he can actually tell that, and I don't really want to do that. So with my hand pulling back, instead of going forward and backward, I want to put a forward pressure onto the opponent's hand, make the initial turn of the hand, and then pull back. What that means is as I pull the hand back, it doesn't go directly to my ribs. It makes that turn, or the rotation of that fist, it turns out and then pulls back, creating a forward movement, a lateral movement out, and then a return to my side, and then I sink in the strike. Again, if I pull, go ahead and maintain your balance. If I push, maintain your balance. What I want to do is, I mess around with this balance by creating that forward or backward movement. I laterally change that direction and then I pull back. And that is, it's actually really quite easy for me. So I start, and I slide this in. Can you turn around? The same goes for the other side. I start with a press, I start with a pull. And very quickly, he accommodates that movement. But if I start with a push, I laterally move and I rip back. That works very, very differently. So this drift off to the side means that pull back becomes a much more functional tool to me. Rather than non-compliant, if I had non-compliancy, that would result with me eating that secondary tool, and then I have only one way to block. I don't have any advantage. That, however, changes the center of gravity quite significantly. So it's a bit of non-compliance, lateral. That movement of that body only starts because of the non-compliancy. The hand basically responds to that movement. I would not have been able to muscle it if I were to drag that, because Josh is about the same height, same strength. There's no mechanical advantage for me using this hand to pull onto that hand, because he's setting his whole entire weight. I'm using only my hand to try to modify his body structure and position, and I don't have a huge advantage. So what I do is I strip, and then now I get into that. Not directly, lateral drift slightly, and then a pull back. A question before was, what happens if you actually encounter a lot of resistance and a lot of non-compliance? What would probably happen is the shifting out would be less, but the resulting body imbalance would still occur. And then I have to modify and adjust based off of the technique that I want to send to then sink the strike in. It's not going to be a beautiful standing in one spot, but otherwise you're messing around with the person's cover, you're changing the hand position and you're changing the balance. And instead of having an opponent that's balanced, the opponent is going to be off balance, the hand's going to be extended, the head's going to be in a position where this backhand, or sorry, the lead hand for the marote strike comes from underneath and hits the face of it. Thank you very much.